Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
How are you all doing? We're back.
Why are you smiling?
Because, I don't know, we're back in this country.
Why are you smiling?
I find that hilarious.
I'm so irritated.
Let me not lie to you. You guys, this podcast might have to be virtual.
I
don't think I can be around No, I'm serious. I actually don't think I can be around anymore. It doesn't fit me, like Lagos as a concept, anymore. That's what I realized in this short sojourn.
Yeah, I'm just it took me an hour, like an 18-minute journey. It took me just over an hour, so it has been very irritating. I just don't understand how Lagos turns to what it turns into when it rains.
Yeah, we've been here for so long.
I don't get it. Like, how is an Ikoyi-Lekki journey taking me over an hour? Right. It's so it's just so annoying. And the worst type of traffic is where it has no origin.
Yeah, nothing, like when you now get to the front or wherever,
there's just nothing.
There's nothing happening. So
yeah,
these are
very annoying.
Before I forget, sorry, I have to give a shout out to Pedro because I went to a serious place today.
Yeah,
I went to Unilever, and so when I was, this is my problem with going to serious places. Like when I say, "Oh, I'm into recycling," I'm like a business person. Because, like, for example, today I said my name is Fake Kemi Abdul. Someone said, "Oh, FK." I said, please. Let me just beg you. Anyway, as I was leaving...
Did they say that while you were doing the thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Pedro caught me as I was leaving and further announced that she's not doing any more work today after BTB. So, hey, I told her I'll shout her out on the podcast and here we all are.
Okay, shout out to Pedro. Okay,
lovely times. So, what have you been doing?
I was enjoying my life.
I was enjoying the life of my head. Yeah. All of a sudden now I'm back. And there's just literally the minute I came back, first of all, my first bag came out. So my first suitcase came out in the airport. Mm-hmm. And the second one took an hour to come out.
Really?
I just thought, okay, must my entrance into this place? And then I got home. There was no lights.
I had the opposite, actually.
There was no lights.
My airport, I spent less than 30 minutes in the airport.
I did not. And this has never happened to me before.
That has also never happened to me before.
So I got home. There was no lights. They said transformer blew on the streets. Then they were waiting for someone to come and fit. And I just thought, this is actually the thing. These are the things that are my problem.
I'm not trying to hear that.
These are the things that are my problem.
Yeah, but we went on holiday and it was incredible.
It was lovely.
It was absolutely amazing.
Time, honestly.
Congratulations, the final wedding of Ike Fulani.
Congrats to
the final.
It was fun. Malta beautiful. Is like an interesting.
Do you know what I think it is?
Deeply random European city.
Because some of our friends are asking, and genuinely, I said what I think about Malta is it's cheaper than most European cities, but it's like 3 days, and after those 3 days, you have the whole city is like 1 hour. Maybe like if you are trying to get like around, maybe there's nowhere that is far technically. Yeah. You can literally walk, and it was warm. Honestly, the weather was perfect. It was perfect. It wasn't hot.
It was a lovely time. It was warm.
And then it's by the water. The entire city's by the water, but we walked by the water. And everything and we've become our parents.
We have.
Everybody was generally like,
you guys were literally walking by the water, and everyone was just like, okay, so Lagos. Like that was just the conversation. So Lagos, like, what's your
thing?
Because there are these little restaurants, literally, as in sitting and overlooking the water, and there was no like massive sea of dirt.
Nothing.
At the bottom, like stunning. Making it irritating for you to literally sit by the water.
Yeah, and people were like swimming. Yeah, people had boats. It wasn't only for people that had like huge,
like there were tiny boats. There were small.
You could see like
marina.
Tiny small boats. Like it just felt like a city built for people. What else? We had great food. Lagos is one of the few, I think probably the only where the city is by the water, but its seafood is not a thing. It's not really like a thing like, I like right by water. So
people are importing seafood.
We have amazing seafood here. So there are amazing seafood restaurants.
Whereas everywhere was like catch up the day.
Me and Omono are cheap. So our room didn't have a great view. But my brother, Bolu's hotel room was fantastic.
I had a great view. Don't know what you guys are talking about.
Bolu's hotel
a phenomenal view.
Was fantastic.
But my view came with the caveat. They gave me a better room. But they told me that they were also doing construction. And I was like, well, considering I'm not going to be inside the room for that long, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
But honestly, it just made me feel like just more than a little bit upset because I'm like, we have all these things.
Yeah.
It's just our wasting it.
No, I'm not even bothered. I'm not even like interested in having
they've even
that.
broken down the whole beach, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, even the concept of a beach promenade, you can't even waterside. And it wasn't even beach area like where we were. It was just by the marina.
Marina. But they'd made...
Our marina now, I don't know what they've turned this into.
They just made space for people to be able to walk. That's all. And spaces for restaurants.
Just they walkway
built
all along the whole marina.
Which is normal. So it's not like, it's the same thing in Barcelona. It's the same thing
in
everywhere. Greece. It's the same thing everywhere else. It's just, same in Senegal. Why am I going far? Senegal, Accra,
Dakar, you can walk by the water. It's crazy.
It's only us. Like, I don't know. I do think that part of why Nigeria is so difficult to get out of is like a government conspiracy, because the more you see, the more you know. I think like Nigeria being expensive to travel out of and difficult, like I really think the Nigerian government wants as few people as possible to see what is outside of this country, because the more you the more you realize that our suffering is so, like, we have such lowbrow problems. Yeah, I mean, there's cholera at the moment.
So. Yeah, do you know, that was crazy, because I was like, do you know what year one?
The last cholera outbreak, I think in the Western world, was in the 19th century, 18 something. Just for context.
You guys, do you know how crazy it is that people are dying from cholera?
And they're dying. So it's not as if people are just getting ill, but people are dying of cholera.
And the thing is, I thought it was just, okay, maybe certain areas, until I saw someone that I know that was like, you don't get, I mean, the eyebrow area, I also got it. Yeah. So it doesn't even make any sense. Like, how do we have cholera?
At the moment.
So listen, that's just what I want to say. Anyway, again, I just want to repeat to you guys, and I don't want you guys to be annoyed in this podcast, that if you see that I've been replaced by a screen in this studio because I'm doing this podcast from outside, I don't actually want you to be annoyed, because I've never wanted to travel more than like now. Coming back, and just the last few days where I'm just like, wow, this life is very dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Like, just on a you don't even realize, on a basic level.
On a really, really high level. On a low and high level. It's nothing very, very stressful. But we did have a good time. So should we talk about what we did, apart from the wedding?
Yeah. Really, so really the wedding was really fun. And then we went back to London. I was just playing. Really, mostly I was playing a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing for me, again, there was one day I was literally, me and Fine Boy Bolo, after we saw that, we literally just started walking on the road at like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sat down on these random steps, and we just kept being like, just imagining us outside on the road, sitting on like steps in front of a building inside Lagos. What's what happened?
A lot of things, none of them good.
Thank you. And we were like, do you know, you could still get the bus. You could still get a train home. It's honestly insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like. It's just like things, I was just walking around just being so happy.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. So I stayed with Tolani Tolly, and that was probably the best and worst thing I could have done.
Yeah, because you were far.
No, not because it was far. I didn't mind. I went primarily to rest. I didn't have any aim. I didn't have anything that was urgent. There was nothing that was even by force. There was nothing I had to do. Technically, after the wedding, I should have come back to Lagos. There was nothing I had to do in London. But I needed to rest and I needed to think, because I think I'm quite over like my life at the moment. But that's neither here nor there. So it was just really nice. But it was just like, Tolly and I are pretty much like the same type of human being. So there was no encouragement to be better. There was no, but we just had such a good time, and she was an amazing host. And
I can't lie, she really tried. Showed us a great time.
Yeah, she's an amazing host. But it was just really nice to. So for me, I feel like I have cultural battery, and my cultural battery had gotten to zero. I had zero inspiration to think differently or do new things. So, and London is the perfect city for that. Like, you just walk and
like you just
get
see things,
like different experiences. And I say this every single time I go there, but that's one of my favorite ththings. I'm not some people really like beach holidays. I've never been that person. I get bored very quickly. I don't like the idea of like the hot sun and then the hot sand. And I think the beach is very nice for pictures and like a good, if it's a really nice beach, maybe 1 hour. After that, I'm like, okay, let's wrap this shit up. So I've always liked cities where you can do tons of things. I like roaming around. And funny enough, my most random day was the day before I was coming back. So you left on Tuesday. On Wednesday, right? My plan was to go into the city I had a meeting. I was supposed to see like 2 or 3 people that I had been like delaying. And then I had dinner with a friend and I'll come home and pack. That was the plan. Okay. We get on the train and Tolani and I are talking shit. And she goes, what time is your meeting? I said, 2 o'clock. I was going to go and look for stuff. She's like, actually, do you want to do your receipts? She sent a message. I was like, okay. So we get there and the producer is like, apparently you're doing your receipts. I said, apparently so. And then I did that. Then I had my meeting. Then I went to see my friend Chrissy. Chrissy's store is so beautiful. And I don't think anybody...
I haven't been.
Anybody who doesn't want to buy a new, just don't go to the store.
Yeah, because
don't listen to Chrissy and say, just come. Just come. It's not even being forced to. Like, you see her work. And you're like, wow, I need this thing. I need it. So I did that. And then I went to... And her store is in Maidavale. So we walked to St. John's Wood. Again, just a lovely walk.
Honestly, that was... I know it sounds...
Nice walk.
Honestly sounds... And the thing is, every time I talk about... It sounds as if I've never traveled before. And that's what's irritating. Because I'm just like...
Just a nice walk.
But for me... Just me and my friend were like, okay, where should we go for dinner? And I was like, you know what? Let's just enter Soho and walk around.
Yeah, and see.
We'll find like somewhere
nice,
interesting.
Yeah.
And every time we were like, ooh, look at this. And ooh, it's just, I'm honestly...
You're over it.
I'm so over it. I'm so over it.
So that was nice. And then I had dinner at Akara. Which was very nice. Been. Yeah, it was really, really good. I was kind of like, so I have this thing when I feel like, I call them London Nigerians. They start making noise. That's Nigeria. Jagbo, bless you. But it was really nice. So Faye took me. And then Faye made the mistake of following me to Waterstones.
Oh wow. So he bought everything.
On his head.
I love that. That was actually my favorite part of traveling.
On his head.
I said, okay, I ain't pound sterling. I love that.
On his head. So I didn't know. So the whole thing was like I needed to go because going to the bookstore is like probably the most important thing to me whenever I travel to a place that has a good bookstore. So I went because I had some physical books I wanted to buy. So I'm walking around and I forgot how massive the Piccadilly Waterstones is. It is huge. So I was just having a good time roaming around and I was picking books. So I get to the counter. And Faye says, oh no, don't worry about it. I said, you should have said this thing. You should have said this thing when we started. Had I knew.
You'd have bought all.
This season of I Said What I Said is brought to you by Afrechange. Afrechange is a fantastic platform you can use to send and receive money from Canada, Nigeria, and to tons of countries, over 50 countries, if I believe. Yes. But they have something special for our people in the UK.
Very, very special. So at the end of the month, Afrechange is launching their UK corridor, which means that you can send money from the UK to about 50 countries, and you can also receive money in the UK from these countries.
Yay.
And if you go to africhange.co.uk and you sign up to their waitlist, you can get a few perks. You'll be one of the first people to have access to the UK corridor, and you also get invited to the parties that they're having to launch them in different cities across the UK. We love a good bash.
Do you know what else we love? We love a discount over here. So if you use the discount code ISWIS, you get a discount when you send your money. I mean, who doesn't want...
Just brilliant.
Who doesn't want...
You get a discount on your
such
initial
things.
transfer.
This is why we love Afrechange, because Afrechange loves us.
That's what we do.
All right, guys. Enjoy the episode. So when we say we're doing members only...
In
Lagos, right? I just need everybody to just be fucking for real at this point. Like, what are we doing? So is this thing of generally like getting away with providing substandard anything, just
and
because
charging
you
a high membership?
So here's my thing: there's providing substandard because you're hampered by your circumstances. But more and more, I find this thing of our sharp guy mentality as Nigerians has entered doing stuff because you can get away with it. And I find it, for instance, with, I'm going to have a mini rant that's kind of unfair, but I have to say it, music.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to I listen to Afrobeats like 90% of the time. That's my shit. But what I've noticed is Lamba has become like the standard, where Lamba was an accompaniment before. But now Lamba is the standard. So you find that out of, I don't know if it's ego or pride, a lot of Nigerian artists have now become obsessed with this idea of being like a one-take god. Have you guys heard this thing before? where they want to go into the studio and be able to brag when they came out that I only did it in 10 minutes. I only did it in 15 minutes. I didn't even need to write that song. Do you know, I just came in and they loved it. They chopped it. It was
and that's why I love these songs now. When you hear them, you're just like,
no, and you know
jam, but what are we saying?
And you know what? I'm fine with Lamba. Like sometimes you just want to have a good time. But then what doesn't make sense is when they get annoyed, when we're like the storytelling isn't good enough. Because you're trying to use Lamba as storytelling. It doesn't make any sense. So I've listened to a couple of songs in the last few weeks, and I'm like, do you know what is painful? This is an okay song that was made good by a really good beat.
Yeah.
But there was nothing stopping it from being great, except you just thinking your audience doesn't deserve better than your half-assed attempt. It's nothing more. Do you understand what I mean? And it's not just music. I'm seeing it with like fashion. I'm seeing it with like content.
Like it's across the board. It's almost as if you're just...
People are doing what they can get away with, not what they can do. And those are two different things.
And that's because here, I don't know, here it's just like, okay, well, this is the bar. So like, why am I going to try and like shoot so far above it?
It's not even that. I think we're not getting to the point where people are bragging off of like, no matter how low I go, is me. So they like it. There's a difference. You understand? It's not like, so me, like this is the bar. Let me manage and meet it. That's one thing. I'm now seeing a lot of, and I mean this with everything, restaurants, music. People are literally like, is it not us? Or is it not me? Or is it not my brand? They'll chop it. And I'm just like, wow, like we've gotten to the point where even like as individuals, like we diss the government a lot and they are dickheads, you know, fuck them forever. But what I'm finding more and more is even with like service providers, there's just a weird thing where Nigerians are trying to figure out just how insulting they can be to an audience and get away with it. So I've seen, like recently I've been thinking about it. I'm like, towards end. And on the other hand, I'm seeing like people I admire in their own spaces, particularly internationally. There's been a lot of talk about the difference between good and great. And there are lots of people that are doing really, really good things. And their entire obsession at the moment is moving from good to great, right? So like, I just feel like it's part of why I think I'm getting more and more over Lagos, because I pitch things all the time. I do projects all the time, and the conversation consistently feels like they're annoyed at you for wanting to do a bit better. It
almost feels like you're doing too much all the time. Whereas in the grand scheme of things, we're barely doing anything. So I think like that's part of what has just made me really, really... I've been very, very irritable. I feel very jaded at the moment, especially when I travel, because like every day I was doing... if I go to London, really if I go to London and when I come back, I've not finished all my money, I've not done anything. But I was seeing a lot of people going out, like just dinner, drinks, whatever, a lot, because I wanted to just hit... This first time I've gone, I didn't even have a list. I was like, let's just find interesting places. And for me, it was like even the most basic... So there was one time I had to get my prescription. Sidebar, I'm now wearing contact lenses. And can I just say that, like, there are parts of my eye that I cannot see from.
Really?
No, it's not in like a medical way. Mm-hmm. What I mean is that when you're wearing glasses, the lens is all over here. But when you're wearing contacts, like, this way you like look up or whatever. No, why is my eye going out of focus? That's actually what I want. Is that like a thing that happened? Someone should yarn me. Maybe the one I got is not original. Because I'm like, why am I looking up? And my eye is out, like it's out of focus. And then I'm having a moment. Anyway, but I was in an area that was a bit random. And then I wanted to meet my friend. And I was just like, instead of me going 1 hour to go where we originally wanted to go, I was like, if I don't have Italian food, I'm going to die. I just said, let's just find Italian here. And you know that from a quick Google, just random, we just looked at like the 5 that had top reviews. We went to this restaurant could not have been more than like somebody's bedroom. The food was phenomenal. But you know that it's not like one of the best, whatever. It was just a nice place in a random part of London. Like, you know, nobody is guessing. It wasn't cool. It was just, but the food was so good that I was like, do you know my problem is that the average like small, tiny equivalent of a small restaurant in Lagos, you know that when you go there, what's in your mind should be there. Like, you're getting what you pay for, the food is not that good. But I'm like, this is a place that it's not expensive. It's not really about vibes, but literally all the comments were just like, no, the food is phenomenal. The food is fantastic. And it was like family run and all these things. But I was just like, can you see that this is just a place we walked into?
Yeah.
From the roadside. Meanwhile, the food is like, because of where they are, you can't.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this weekend, I went to like a restaurant I actually like. And here. And I'm not going back for a while. She's laughing because we spoke about this thing. But I was like, do you know what? At this point, and it's what I mean by, I'm starting to feel like people are just trying to figure out what they can get away with. Not, yes, we're in a recession. Yes, there's high inflation. But I feel like even within that, there's like a bar that everyone is just like, it doesn't matter. And it's really starting to rub me the wrong way, and it's starting to make me feel. So the problem is that when you try, you now start to feel stupid, like you're doing something wrong.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
The bounce is investing.
Why into money making?
The bounce is making money moves. The bounce is making money moves. So we have partnered up with Bamboo, and we have started our investing journey. We've been talking about money a lot here, and we are going to be sharing our journey with you, our money making journey. And we're actually in competition.
Yes, we really are.
We are competing.
Yes. But before we go far, ladies and gentlemen,
please, big disclaimer.
I just want
to advise you. This is actually not financial advice. I suggest you do your research.
Please.
This is for information purposes only and entertainment. Just so you
and competition.
So you know the goings on. Do you know what I mean? So you know what's happening. Please don't go and follow anything that is said. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, Bamboo is a platform that allows you to buy US stocks from Nigeria and Ghana as well. They also have Nigerian stocks. They have treasury bills. They have dollar fixed income
for the Nigerians.
For the Nigerians, Charlie. So sorry about that.
You can download the app on the Play Store, on the App Store. Chad, you know your phone between the two of you. Where you get your apps from.
Everywhere. Check that. The app is available for you.
You can use your BVN or a Ghana card and you can get to it.
Yeah, you can also
just like that.
You can also deposit Naira or dollars to start. You
can use mobile money.
Yeah, big babe. You can start with dollars. But if you have Naira as well, you can use that to buy the stocks on Bamboo.
You can use wire transfer.
You can.
They are ready for you.
Well, anything you have, just give them. Don't worry. And so what we're going to be doing is we are going to be investing, and we're going to show you how we are using Bamboo to make our own money.
We're also going to be saying who knows more.
Yeah.
That's the point of this.
You guys already know the answer to that now. Just, if you look at two of us now, you already know.
Okay.
Who's going to come out on top?
Of course.
It's not by skirts. Not by skirt wearing. So, you can follow our journey on www.isaidwhatIsaidpodcast.com/invest/bamboo.
Come on.
To the link.
Yeah. And Bamboo is duly licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, Nigeria, and they're partnered with a regulated member of FINRA/SIPC in the US. So you're good to go.
You are.
It's safe.
And so you can download Bamboo and you can follow our journey
week to
on
week
the website.
Week to week.
No, we'll be showing you. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll be showing you. And then you guys will finally be able to know who can make money and who cannot.
There's only one of us that closed ice business, but...
Is it by ice business? Is it by ice? These are just the things. I'm familiar with dollars, stocks, investing, all these things. You studied geopolitics. Anyway, download Bamboo and follow our journey. Thank you so much.
All right, back to the episode.
PS.
Quick PS.
Very important PS. If you join the competition, you actually stand a chance to win week on week dollars. Cash dollars, real dollars, not audio dollars. So, get involved and then, we'll see you at the finish line. You can meet me.
Yeah, so you can
I win.
So you can make it rain when you meet me. At the finish line.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
This is from a lonely married woman who says, "Hi girls, love your podcast. You're amazing.
So much.
My question is, how do I navigate marriage with an emotionally unavailable husband? I've been married for 5 years and we have kids who are quite young. He has been emotionally neglectful and has no empathy when it comes to my feelings. Everything was going well until I had my first child and I believe I was depressed. I was crying all the time, and I agree that I was quite rude to my husband when he wasn't hands-on with the baby and chores. This may have been the beginning of our issues. He stopped telling me where he was going and made plans without my knowledge or input, stopped telling me he loves me or complimenting me, didn't want to be accountable, nothing like date night, didn't remember my birthday 3 years in a row, and showed no empathy when I poured out my heart to him and cried. We're both non-confrontational, but I decided that if I want a healthy relationship, I'd have to communicate rather than bottling things up and being passive-aggressive. I suggested talking about what was bothering us and making small adjustments to accommodate each other, and thought that was reasonable until my husband said I was trying to control him. Said he doesn't believe in talking about anything because I keep talking and nothing changes. He said he can't give me whatever it is I'm asking for and I should take whatever I get. And for the first time, I realized that I've been the glue holding us together, and I was always the one trying to fix our relationship and apologize for my wrongs, although he never did the same. I idealized him and hoped that he would eventually get better and start treating me right. He provides everything I need financially, but if I ask, but that's all I get. When he's home, he's on his phone and works till quite late at night. If I ask for sex, he's tired, and if I keep asking, he becomes irritated and gets very mean until he wants it. It's very, very embarrassing. I've learned to listen to how I feel, and this doesn't feel right at all. He's uninterested in therapy and talking to anyone for that matter. We did try talking to one of his friends, but that just blew things out of proportion. Anyway, he now sleeps in a separate room while I sleep with the children. I stopped going to his room to look for him when I wake up in the morning. Also stopped complimenting him. Any new shirts, new perfume, new haircuts, that's your business. I remove my eye. I don't message or call him to check up on him and only talk about what's necessary and listen when he's feeling chatty. I no longer ask him for sex. I bought a sex toy for when I'm in the mood. If he asks, I give said sex and I move on. I still cook for him, but now everything is barest minimum. And he says I've developed a huge ego and I don't care. I believe a relationship takes work from both sides. But what do you do when someone has decided he is who he is and can't change anything for you to take or leave it? He used to be quite sweet and caring and understanding when we were dating. Now I know better. There seems to have been red flags, but trust me, I didn't realize, and I was very naive about dating at the time with nobody to guide me. Fine, you can call me a pick-me at the time. Anyway, girls, we are here now, so you have to help me. Because the other day, he was listening to an Andrew Tate podcast, so I can tell you that it's only going downhill from here. Okay.
Okay, you guys are not doing the Juro Council, because if you're listening to Andrew Tate, you listen to us. and this is just the battle of the bands.
Yeah.
Let me know, like, well, you know, what's crazy is I've not been married for 5 years.
I've been married for 1.
God bless you. God bless you. So I just want to start with that and the disclaimer. I don't know what you should do. But the part that made me laugh the most was when he started returning his energy, all of a sudden you've developed a huge ego. Okay, hear me ask what?
A thing for me that I really appreciate with the understanding of returning energy is the first time it happened to me was with a friend. It was the friendship. And I have a friend who is incredible with, like, you know, keeping in touch and money. And she was basically carrying the friendship. And I took for granted because it was like, I liked talking to her, but she was always calling. So what it had become in my mind was she calls at this time on, like, she would call me and then we'll gist. But it was really pinning her that I don't grab.
Why are you not calling me back?
And maybe because it was a friendship, I didn't realize that thing would hurt her feelings in that way. Do you understand what I mean? Like, in relationships, you assume that, why would I always be the one calling you? I didn't realize that this thing was really upsetting my friend. Until one day, like, I just realized that we haven't spoken in a while. I didn't know anything that was going on. So I called and I was like, I just want to catch up, blah, 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 blah. And we had a great conversation. But I think it really, like, fucked her off. She was like, okay. So she called me back to be like, sorry, she just wants to say something. I shouldn't be annoyed. But she has just realized that somehow she feels like she's chasing me.
Yeah.
In this friendship. You know, because she's constantly the one reaching out and asking.
Yeah.
So because almost it felt like because she would ask, I would ask.
Yeah.
But if she didn't ask me, I wouldn't. You wouldn't ask. If she didn't call me, I wouldn't call her. And when she returned the favor, it felt really strange. And at a point, I was like, oh, the energy is weird. And I was thinking about it that way. And I was about to let my ego be like, oh, the energy is being weird. But what it was is that, quite frankly, I was too embarrassed to realize that, like, nobody wants to feel like this. This way you're feeling is how your friend feels. When she waits 1 day, 2 day, 3, you, Mumu, it did not occur to you, okay.
So actually just do
even
like
Instagram DM, send a funny thing. It did not occur to you because you're waiting for her to send it, Abi, because you are princess of the world. You're too precious and too lovely for them to make sure that, Have I spoken to my queen?
Yeah.
Today? And I think this thing of returning energy, I did it only once. I took it too far. But I did it once. Because let me tell you something about human ego that I don't think people understand. Everybody, you see that those endorphins you get when someone you have any kind of affection for makes an effort with you.
Everyone gets it.
Everyone gets it. That person also gets it. It is so irritating to think that somehow this dynamic where you benefit from it and somehow with your magnanimity, they are also benefiting.
Yeah.
Should be the conversation. It is so rude and it is so weird. And I find that with romantic relationships, when women start to return the energy,
it's always a huge shock.
Always mind-blowing to men. When it is that, do you know the first time this thing came up where you didn't call me I think it was my ex. I was so mad. I said, you didn't talk to me, or they said you are mad. So me, they can't talk to me. I said, it's already 7:00. He said, no, at my own place, it's noon. Where I am, it's still afternoon. Stupid girl. I said, first of all, there's no need for this attitude. All right? But again, it's that thing of being so childish.
But the thing is, it happens all the time, and you're just kind of like...
Isn't it weird how childish we can be?
You're like, dude, what?
Where the world revolves around you, and you don't realize...
And it's always in very subtle, things. It's always in very, very subtle things that you're just like, wait, what's really going on?
Yes.
What's really going on
Why
here?
would you... You're doing nothing wrong by returning his energy.
Yeah.
Because
all of a sudden, he now said, and he literally said to you, it is whatever I give you that you take. And you said, okay, no problem. I will not give anything. All of a sudden, your ego is, okay, you now that you were doing it before, your ego is what?
No, I think it's so unkind.
It is. I honestly think it's very, because at the point where you're telling me, I can't give you what you want, because what I'm asking for is not huge things. It's actually just the nature of relationship.
Yes.
Now you're telling me just manage anyone you can get.
No.
Then you still want me to be here. And you still expect me to be making the effort as well. It is very, very cruel, because it's just okay, so what do you want from me? Now, you have said that anyone I give you manage it. You two, you said, okay, no problem. I'm not giving anything again. And he has a problem. Because honestly, if he really didn't care, why would he mind? If you are doing the same thing that he's doing. And one thing that's always so hilarious about all these things is that, okay, you don't want to talk to me, Abby. You don't want to say, okay, but you want to have sex. You are very crazy.
But the crazy thing is that she said
she wanted to,
she's no longer initiating. She's no longer, so even in terms of gist, right? And these are the things that people, so unfortunately for me, I still really enjoy Twitter, unfortunately. And I say that, but I find we have the same circular conversations a lot. And it's this thing of, men take for granted how much a woman that likes you wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And when for a long time you don't reciprocate, let me tell you, no matter how talkative you are, it gets to a point where you actually genuinely feel stupid.
You do.
You won't, when she's saying that thing of, yeah, talk now, you're laughing. It's funny until now I actually feel foolish setting. And she stops. And then you now make it, why are you angry? Why are you behaving like this? No,
you make it about...
I actually feel daft.
You start saying things like you're going... Someone said to me recently that I'm going out of my way to be different with them than I am normally. I said, no, honey. You told me you're not a texting person, and I stopped texting you. Surely you're not a texting person.
So why do you care if you
Imagine
don't get
me, a crazy person, texting somebody that said they are not into text messaging. He said, but you are into... I said, but you are not.
And so and you're so considerate.
I said, what I did was... Because I asked you that, sorry, am I crazy? Or it's not you that, as in, you were looking for me. Now I answered you. You come to tell me, say you are not into... I said, I'm so sorry. I did such a huge mistake. Now, I'm not texting you. And your problem is not that, as in, you've not spoken to me.
Is that you?
Your problem is the nature. Now he said to me, I'm going out of my way to be different than how I am normally. I said, okay, you know me. So, and I'm just this is what people do. I'm when I was trying, you said that it's all of a sudden. Anyway, this babe, let me not lie. It sounds
what her options are?
The truth is that I don't like to just say that people should leave their husband or whatever, but it sounds like your relationship has devolved.
She's winding down.
Yeah.
She's winding
So
down.
the problem I have is that all the things we could have said they should try, she has actually tried it. And it sounds like, because a relationship is two people making the effort. And I honestly believe that once one person has decided that, forget anything, I'm not making any effort again. They have kids, everything, she's trying to keep it there. Yeah. But by the time two of you are like walls up, where do you really want to go from there? This relationship is only going to continue to devolve.
Do you know what's a really good exercise? If you think about like, if my partner behaved to me how I behave to them,
how would I feel? Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean like, don't look for the big dramatic thing.
Just like
everyday basis. If every time, if it was only when I wanted to talk that we talk, or when I want to try a new restaurant, or when I want to like, when I'm feeling social, we hang out with friends, or when I'm feeling romantic is when I say nice things to the person. I don't, you understand? Other than that, or if I want to have sex today, that's when I remember to start saying, you look nice in the morning. I think, I think that if for you to really know as the day go, I think sometimes people, depending on how you are raised, you need to feel all righteousness. And I don't begrudge people who need that.
Yeah.
So if it is like, okay, we've done the friend one. If you guys have any sort of like,
he has refused to go to counseling.
That's what I'm saying. So fulfill all righteousness. Do you understand? I will mention, so I'm at the point where the thing is, I know, because she said if she knows, it feels wrong, blah, blah, blah. But this is the thing. I've recently come to the conclusion that what I like more than being right. I like being right in the eyes of men.
Yeah.
I understand.
Like, I don't want to be right by myself.
No.
I want all of us to come together.
All of us to come to conclusion
in my rightness.
Like, she tried.
Yeah.
She really, really tried.
So bring everybody in.
Okay, which of his parents is he more amenable to?
I said bring everybody inside.
No, because she also needs to be sharp. It can't be like, spreading our business around.
Because if she forms, you know what, I've given up on the marriage. That's what they'll say.
That's what they'll say.
So sister, do
fulfill all righteousness.
Okay, does he have siblings that he needs to call them?
Call the stand, be like,
the parents, phone them.
Because what is happening now is
they can't bring it up again.
Yes.
Okay, you don't want to do therapy. I'm trying my best.
I'm really trying my best here. And if you don't want to, if this relationship was hinged on, and I think we spoke about this thing before, how because a lot of women are primed for romance, right? For a relationship can run on a long time with a woman's effort and a man's appearance.
Yeah.
So you're the one doing all. He's responding to the things you do. He
doesn't initiate, but like, because he's there, you're still enjoying it. And that thing is a complete mindfuck when you realize that if I drop this thing, everything will scatter.
So you are the one that comes up with all the romantic ideas, all the challenges.
But like, he's along for the ride, so it's fine.
And once you stop the activity, you realize that, you just don't plan anything. You don't want to do anything. You don't even, okay, we talk at 7, but you realize that the one that's carrying the gist. So on the day where you say, actually, like, so how was your day? And he says how his day was. He asks you how was your day, and you finish that. You realize he doesn't care
have anything to say. He doesn't want to ask you anything.
He doesn't have any activities. He doesn't plan anything. Oh, Kini's wedding is in 2 weeks. And we're going to get. If you stop that and you realize that nothing is happening in a relationship, you're not in a relationship. You are the sole provider.
Yeah, and this person is just participating. Yeah. So I think it's right, because you're married, you have children, you have to fulfill all the righteousness. And then when you're done doing that, if nothing changes, my sister, I think you know that you've tried.
Yeah.
Everybody has tried. And then you have to decide, okay, how am I going to start?
What do you want to do?
This is what I want to do next. Yep. Because honestly, I wouldn't spend many, many more years in a situation that, if it has devolved and you're fine with this, it's different. You're not fine with it. You're not happy with it. You have to maintain this energy because that is what you're seeing in front, and you can't be a clown.
Yeah.
But I honestly think the only way to go about it is, if you try absolutely everything and it's still not working, then like, that's honestly for me, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
It's time to now talk, okay, I'm taking a break, this one, that one. Let me remove myself from the situation if you don't want it to work. And when you get to this place, it's very tough because you're just like, now I'm just trying to see if this thing can survive.
Yeah.
If it can't, that is, but it's very unfortunate because, for me, what is crazy is I always wonder, how do people get here?
Because,
so she had a moment and I'm not going to use that as an excuse for him, because she's saying, the thing is, she's decided that
in retrospect.
Yeah, she's like, in retrospect, she was depressed and she was rude to him, but that's not, for me, that's not enough.
But since then, she's tried all the other
for me,
things.
that's not enough. And also, it happens. People get postpartum depression. It is a thing.
Yeah. Also, do you know, like...
children are so... It's a lot. I'm
there's
sorry.
Also just, like, all sorts of weird things. Like, do you know, there's an... And I'm saying this because I know not a lot of people will admit, but it is... See, the human ego loves to be worshipped. Yeah. You feel good when somebody's looking for you and they've missed you and like, what's going on with you and what are you doing? And, they're initiating sex.
Yeah.
Like the human ego likes it. You never ever want to make somebody start to feel stupid for wanting you or liking you or being...
Or like feeling like they're like, as in you don't want them or you're just managing the situation.
It's so strange to me how when you have someone that likes you or loves you, let me tell you something. Your minimum participation is already like, wow,
it is.
They are so happy. So what happens if you just turn it up a notch? You're both having a good time. You're both enjoying yourself. But again, like Fekemi said, in your own case, this man is uninterested in your well-being.
He is. And like my own is like, it's not even like a passive lack of, it is an active, he has decided that CEO, the bare minimum you're asking me to do, I will not do it. And I fully expect you to just manage it. Like, well, look, the language of I cannot give you what you want, which is what I give you that you should take, for me is an act of war.
Yeah, it's so unkind.
And once you get to that point,
it's so unkind.
I must act accordingly.
It is so unkind.
For me, it's so kind to not try at all. All of a sudden, you don't want to talk to anyone. Like, you don't want to do counseling. You don't want to. So my problem here is really that all the options have been presented to you.
Also, you said he's been listening to Andrew Tate.
Oh, let me tell you, this is where his problem is starting.
No, because some of this stuff some of the things he's doing to you are like...
It's alpha male behavior.
It's like like they want to, quote unquote, break your spirits.
And you're supposed to kind of like...
To get to the point where any small thing they do...
You're so happy.
You're so excited. So that's where... It's like a whole thing. So,
you're supposed to like worship him even more.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want you.
Point. Yeah, so I think... You know what to do, and you should trust the instincts that you ignored before. Yeah. Trust them now.
Hello, boys and girls. So Bamboo's Invest for Stuff campaign is still on. And this week, if you want to win brand new iPhone 15, you can open the Bamboo app. You can buy US stocks, Nigerian stocks, or Nigerian treasury bills. Don't say I didn't tell ya.
Can I say my own safe space of the week?
Go ahead.
Okay. My own safe space of the week is proudly sponsored by my little trip. Okay. My unsafe space this week is patriotism.
Good.
Because there are limits to everything. And quite frankly, I find that as Nigerians, we have a deep refusal to think of what? Ago and Igbo. Time and place. Okay? There is no fucking reason more than 200 Nigerians trapped in a metal can in the air should have the option of pounded yam as a meal during a flight. You guys, there is no reason why anybody should do that to other human beings. Whatever. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.